Hey YouTube, 3D Printed Life here. Now, as I'm sure you know at this point, I'm in a partnership with Parts Badger. And one of the videos we discussed making was pretty much a how-to video on how to go through their instant quote system. Now, a quick note about Parts Badger: they are a custom machining service that is really geared towards helping your everyday consumer, hobbyist, etc. be able to machine parts at a very reasonable price. And from what I've seen, pretty much all of their prices for one-offs and even bulk prices beat out most of the competition, and their real specialty is, again, those one-off, prototype, or just one-time parts that you need to make. So I'm just going to go through their instant quoting system. It's pretty straightforward, but if you have any questions, hopefully this video should help you figure them out. So now this first step is pretty simple. Hopefully you guys can figure this out. First name, last name, email. I'm sure you guys all know that. And then finally uploading the file. So now, your best bet for a file would just be use a step or STP file, both the same, just different extensions. You can use the other files, except, of course, this would depend on what part it is. Now, if it's two-dimensional part, something that has no three-dimensional surfaces, it's only a single operation from the top, a drawing or DXF file would suffice, except usually it's better to just use a step. Better safe than sorry. So once you're done with that, you can hit continue or just go on down below. So this next part, you're going to put in the outer bounding dimensions of whatever your part is. So if you have a part like this that's got curves and surfaces, it's just this outer box. So whatever those sizes would be. So I'm just going to say 6 by 6 by an eighth. Then it's going to give you the total volume and the product price. Now this assumes 6061 aluminum. You can change that later on, which may decrease or increase the price. Next, you got a few complexity options. So first is how many sides you have to have machined. Now if you're not sure, hopefully it's one of these lower ones, but it may be higher. It's kind of hard to tell. You have to get a feel for it. Now looking at this part, this has a lot of surfaces and contours, so this is very clearly going to be the contouring and off-axis cutting, which is going to be your most expensive operations. However, a part like this would actually only be a single operation, because as you can see, it's a single plate and all the operations can be done from this top side. You can cut around the outside, cut these inserts, drill the holes, and also counterbore them, all from a single side. So that would just be a 1 to 2 side operation. So basically you just have to look at your part and try to figure it out as best as you can in order to get the most accurate quote. The next is features, radiuses, or chamfers. This doesn't include internal geometries like this. It would more be for fillets that are on, say, the top side. So if I were to add something like this around here, that would be a fillet that you'd have to add in on this optional part. Next is tap holes. That's pretty straightforward. Count up how many tapped holes you have and check it off. Final is part setup. Now if this is your first run on the part, you need part setup. If you have had this part made before, you should not need this additional cost. Next is material and finish. This is all your choice. They have a ton of materials to choose from, so just pick whatever you want. 6061 is, I believe, the cheapest aluminum you're going to find. They do have cheaper options such as polycarbonate and ABS. ABS really cuts down a lot of the price. Definitely not as strong as aluminum, not even close, but if you don't need it to be that strong, ABS may be your best bet. Then next is the finishing type. So now their finishing options are a really awesome deal. If you guys have ever worked with machining before, you will see that for one-off products, they're pretty much the best. Bead blasting is only $1.25. Same with rough polishing, and anodizing is only $16 for a single part. That's like unheard of. And then each additional part, it's going to be the $14 setup fee plus $2 per part. Pick a color, any color, and you'll get it. Pretty awesome. Next is lead times. If you got a bunch of time, you don't really need it immediately, you can get a bit of a discount by just adding some time to it. If you need it in a rush, you can pay a little more, or just the standard time. And then here's where you can upload your drawing files if you want to just make sure that your step files are going to have all the proper tolerances. It's usually recommended that you have a drawing file to accompany each part. But if it's a part that really has minimal tolerances that are important, you really might not need this drawing file. Then again, any notes here. If you want to identify your part with a specific version number, you can just put A or whatever in here. Next, they'll show you their bulk discounts. So they have a few options to save a bit of money. Obviously, the more you order, the more you save. That's always how it works. And then finally, you'll get your final quote. Now you can play around with stuff here in order to see how your quote will be adjusted, but overall it's definitely a pretty reasonable price, especially for single-off products. The finishing options really kind of blow me away, because the cheapest I've heard of for a single run of an anodizing part is something like 60 or 70 bucks, so this is pretty awesome. But that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you have any questions about this service, you might want to ask Parts Badger itself. You can try to leave a comment below. I'll answer as best as I can. But when in doubt, you can always contact Parts Badger. If you'd like to order parts through Parts Badger, of course, there'll be a link below, as well as the annotation that you'll probably have seen on the screen by now if you haven't deleted it already. But you can go ahead and click either one of those and head off on your way and see how much it costs to get your parts custom machined. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more videos about machining and such forth, and that's pretty much all. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you later.